D&D Davison, liveweatherblogs.com overnight edition with important information. We have tropical storm watches that have been issued. Let's take a look. Tropics always changing. You always know that. We always have the forecast for the North Carolina Triad and the Roanoke Valley, and we have the heat wave coming up week. Taking a look at the tropics. We got Danielle Earl on an area investigation 97 near the Cape Verdes that looks to become Fiona. Taking a look at our latest information. This is the latest track for Danielle, Category 4 Danielle, with 135-mile-an-hour winds. Tropical storm warning, tropical storm watch is in effect now for Bermuda. The island of Bermuda, we may see tropical storm force winds within the next 48 hours. Also here, this is Earl. We have Earl having a situation also that we may be having a situation with tropical storm force winds here in the St. Martin, St. Bartholomew Islands here east of Puerto Rico, and it does become a major hurricane. Some of the computer models are still out on that. We're going to go into that momentarily. Take a look at a satellite picture of Danielle. Look at this eye. Central dense overcast is around the eye. It's a beautiful storm, has great outflow. It's going to run into this trough, and that's what's turning it away from Bermuda, but not probably before giving it some tropical storm force winds. You can see how we have the current time, and the slope is down on these models to become extra tropical. The other problem we have with Danielle is there's doing a Titanic research up in the northern Atlantic, and this may be affected by this. Taking a look at the computer models, are pretty much in agreement now where it's going to go, and become extra tropical and go towards England next week. Tropical storm Earl, 50 miles an hour, strengthened a little bit, starting to look a lot better organized here. The low pressures in the center of this, so it's looking better, starting to get a good outflow here. We had a little bit of dry air. We'll show you that in the water vapor imagery, and all this shows, a lot of these models are showing the increasing wind over the next 72, 96 hours to a major hurricane for the most part. Computer models are out on this too, because you can see we have a couple of computer models still pointing towards the mid-Atlantic coast. A few of them are turning out, and the GFS, which sometimes overhypes information, is turning it off to sea. This also could affect Bermuda if it does turn, as Bermuda's right in this general location. Some of the models put it right near Bermuda. So if you live along the eastern coastline, mid-Atlantic coastline, or Bermuda, keep an eye on the next couple of days for the latest information here at liveweatherblogs.com on this tropical storm Earl, which will become a hurricane and possibly a major hurricane. Investigation 97. It's starting to get its act together. Here's the Cape Verde Islands. Computer models show this actually coming in, and they're pretty far out too where it goes. Some of them keep it south, kind of like on Earl's path as of right now. Some of them turn them out to sea. Some of them puts it right over Bermuda. Still too far away, too far out to go with that. But the strength forecast does put this into a hurricane, so or a strong tropical storm. So it's definitely something we need to keep an eye on. Also, which will probably become Fiona over the next day or two. Taking a look at the visible satellite before the sun went down. Look, like I said, you can see this excellent outflow that Danielle has. Starting to get a good outflow here on tropical storm Earl. Earl may sit in this general direction and then turn north. It depends on how far east it gets. That's the biggest problem with Earl, is how far west it'll get before it makes its turn. If it gets into here near the Bahamas, there could be some situations for the southeast coastline. Like I said, one of the reasons we want you to stay with liveweatherblogs.com for the latest information. The water vapor imagery. See Danielle 97 has a nice outflow, and also Earl. And then we're going to look also here. This is the Meadowsat from England, but you can take a look at this. Look at all these waves that are setting in Africa. We're going to have an active next couple of weeks, looks like, here in the tropics. Taking a look at the forecast of the Triad for the next couple of days, we have partly sunny throughout, maybe a chance of thunderstorm at the latest on Wednesday. And 96 will be the highest it gets on Wednesday, near 100 degrees, possibly even 88 today, 90, then 92, 94, an increasing heat wave in the Triad of North Carolina. And Roanoke Valley stays in the low 80s and then spikes into the 90s for the middle of next week. So definitely stay with liveweatherblogs.com for the latest information, and we have to watch to see if these tropical storm watches turn into tropical storm warnings. D.D. Davison, liveweatherblogs.com.